Okay. So when we talk about Success Club, there's a lot of emphasis on Success Club, and I know that it can feel like a thorn in your side sometimes. You're like, oh, it's like this kind of thing that hangs over your head, and you're like, you know, it's not always easy to get your Success Club points. So I don't want to paint a picture here that, oh, it's just easy, you just do XYZ and everything is all good. But what I do want to paint a picture for you here is that it is important. It's important for your business, not because we celebrate it, not because, there are fun prizes a lot of times connected to Success Club, not because you have your name in lights and things like that. But because it's a benchmark for your business. We don't have quotas as coaches, so you don't have to make Success Club. It's not something that this team or Beachbody or anybody can make you do, but and you certainly don't do it for me. So I want to make that clear too. Just like your coaches don't hit Success Club for you. So I want to really empower you to own Success Club for yourself in your business because it is important for your business, not for any other reason. So I want to just make that super, super clear, that you're not doing this for anybody else, and it's very important that you take responsibility for this. Because it really does fall on you. Nobody's going to do it for you. It's not always easy, but the consistency of the behaviors that will help you earn those Success Club points are the behaviors that will build a successful business. And those are all in we have our 4 vital behaviors now. So Success Club really is a reflection of the seeds that you've planted in the last several months. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. Can y'all see the lightning? Like flashing right there? No? It's like right outside my window. I totally just lost my thought. Okay, so what I was gonna say is, have you noticed that a lot of the times the work that you sow and the seeds that you sow, they really don't reap a harvest until like months down the road. And so that's why some of this can be so hard sometimes, because it's not an immediate gratification thing at all. So when you're adding people to your list, when you're inviting and people are telling you no, or they have an objection, you're just like, this is not going anywhere, I'm done. Because you're not seeing anything come of it in that moment or even that month, and then you find yourself frustrated. But I can tell you that what happens, the work that you're doing right now will pay off for you next month and the month after and the month after. And so all of that builds on each other, and it becomes a compound effect. And then you have a steady stream of people that you are talking to consistently. And that is the benefit of Success Club, because it puts you in the habit of having to do the inviting, the growing your list, the meeting new people, the starting new conversations consistently, daily, over and over and over. I know a lot of times as a new coach, you have those people in your warm market, and those are a lot of times the easiest people to reach out to, and they want to do this with you, and so that becomes like a good, quick, easy win, and that's good, and you have momentum for that. But then what happens when you get out of that warm market, then it's like I see coaches hit a brick wall, because they haven't really struggled with it yet. And so I just want to tell you that, and I'm kind of getting into this next slide here, but the consistency of your behaviors, whether you are seeing the gratification of it or not in any given moment, it matters, and it will pay off at some point in time. I'm pretty sure that all of you told me no at first. And I'm pretty sure I was shaking in my boots when I asked most of y'all to be a coach, right? And I'm pretty sure that if I wasn't intentional about asking each of you, you might not be on this call. It wasn't a post that I made. It wasn't anything like that. It was a one-on-one conversation. And so, again, I'm getting kind of into my next slide, but the benefit of Success Club 2 is that you're doing your job as a coach. You're helping more people, right? So if you're helping at least 3 new people every month get started with Shakeology and a workout program and connected to your group, you have successfully helped 3 new people. And so you do that time after time after time, you're going to end up with a team of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. That's how it happens. And so the other thing that I wanted to address too was that what you allow or what you don't allow continues. And so I feel like when you make Success Club over and over and over, then it starts to just become what happens for you. Versus if you reach Success Club 1 month and then not the next month and then maybe skip a few more months and then you try to come back and do it again, like it becomes harder because that push and that pull and having to regain momentum is hard. And so when you're stopping and starting, that leads to frustration because it takes a lot to get things going. And if you're stopping and then restarting over and over again, then you're going to end up frustrated. So, at some point, don't just make Success Club like 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. Commit to making it every single month. Okay, so I'm going to skip to this next slide. And this is just kind of my brain dump as far as secrets to Success Club. And none of this is rocket science. And you probably have heard me say a lot of these things before. But the very main thing, the biggest secret to all of this is you and your mindset. And you just knowing, like, you're not saying, well, I hope that I make Success Club by the end of the month, or I hope, or I really wish, or we'll just see what happens. That kind of language takes root in your heart and you got to kick it out because you have to decide this is going to happen. This is my job as a coach to help 3 new people this month, and this is what is going to happen. So having that non-negotiable mindset, I've had really hard months before where it has come down to the wire, where it's, maybe been a bad month on a lot of fronts. Just, I know stuff happens and life happens, but you can't give up. And there are months where we have to barely scrape by with it, and then you'll find months that are easier. But I've had months that are just down, like literally down to the wire. So I don't want you to think that, just points magically appear or that they just kind of like fall down from the sky or anything like that. But I forgot what I was saying. But making it non-negotiable for yourself and your business is part of your job as a coach. And I'm speaking to you as a business building coach. I'm not if this is a hobby or just something you're like, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, then, it may be okay for you to not make this a priority. But if you're here to build a business, then these things are non-negotiable. And when you get that momentum going, you have to double down on it. So if you make Success Club 5 by the 10th or the 15th of the month, it's not time to just sit back and say, oh, awesome, now I don't have to do anything for the rest of the month. that will screw you in the next month. Because those 2 or 3 weeks that you let pass by without doing anything will pay off in a negative way at some point down the road. And so there's times to be where you're pushing, and there's times to just be consistent. And so you hear me say that over and over and over again, but your consistency is the magic sauce or whatever for your business. We've already talked about some months will be harder than others, and that life happens, things come up. Things are hard sometimes. Sometimes we have hard months and hard seasons and things that are difficult. But I want to encourage you to still show up, because what I have found is that when things are hard, there is nothing better than being able to reach out and help somebody else find their breakthrough when you're still waiting for yours. And yeah, my pastor preached about that at church this weekend, but I thought it really pertained to this because, I thought back to when I started this business and things were very messy for us and very difficult. And I cannot imagine, not having an outlet where I could feed into other people and help somebody else, even though what they didn't realize, and what some of you probably didn't realize, is that I was being helped in the process. So I just encourage you, when things get crazy, you may have to go at a bit slower pace, but that doesn't mean that you have to completely stop. You're going to hear me say the word consistency again. Because I can tell you, in the last however many months it's been, 53 months or whatever, I've had some crappy months. Like, they're not all puppies and bunnies, right? So you still have to show up. Be proactive in your conversations to avoid order mishaps. And I've talked about this a little bit with some of y'all, but when you get the idea that somebody's probably going to order, like you feel good about the conversation that you're having with somebody, something that you can do is say, hey, before you do anything here, I'm going to send you a link if you decide to move forward. Like, you have to kind of let them know, don't go here and don't go there to order. Be proactive in your conversation. So if you get the gut feeling that this is probably going to lead somewhere, then plant that seed with them that you're going to be giving them instructions and you're going to be giving them next steps, so that they don't try to go somewhere else and order it real quick off of Amazon or whatever. I won't say never, because once I say never, it'll happen. But I rarely have that happen. So I think that being proactive, and they got to know too, I think Ashley and I talked about this the other day, like, you wouldn't go get your nails done and then pay the nail salon down the road for your service. So I don't know. So there's that. If you guys have questions about how to do that, then you can definitely ask. And I want to emphasize that there are no shortcuts to this. It will absolutely involve a lot of hard work and blood and sweat and tears, and it is all worth it, but there aren't any shortcuts. You can't post a magical post and then your business just comes together, or hit Success Club 1 month and your business comes together. It is a big picture view, and it is a culmination of all of those things. So I want to encourage y'all to run the plays that have already been called. You don't have to go reinvent the wheel. Use the scripts. I have seen here and there, like I see conversations on Facebook sometimes, and especially newer coaches fall into this, because I know as a new coach, you just don't want to come across as pushy. So I know that this is why this happens. But it's not pushy, but you do have to be intentional and clearly communicate to people what they need to be doing in order to work with you. And so my suggestion on that is don't ever give somebody your site. Like if someone shows interest on a post and you say, okay, well, here's my site, go check it out and then let me know. I can tell you right now, it will not happen. They will not, they might go check it out, but I can guarantee you 99.9% of the time, they will not make a purchase. And if they do, they might buy some containers and then you'll never see them again. So it is worth it to you. Instead of doing that, say, hey, I'm going to send you a message. Then you go to private message. Remember, sales conversations never happen in the newsfeed, ever, ever, ever. They always happen in private messages. So you say, hey, so-and-so, awesome, so excited to talk to you. I'm going to send you a private message. You go to one-on-one messages and you pull out the scripts and you start using the scripts. Step 1 or step 2, whatever you need to say to that person. Hey, tell me why you're interested in 21-Day Fix. What are you struggling with right now? Start asking questions. You have to ask questions. You cannot skip that step. It's part of running the play that has already been called. So don't make stuff up that has not been taught. If you aren't sending one-on-one invites consistently, you aren't running a business. And I know that's a hard truth because we like to post sometimes, or we like to create groups, and we like there's lots of fun things that we like to do as coaches. But if you are not talking to people one-on-one consistently and starting new conversations, you are not running a business. You are doing this as a hobby. When you're using your scripts, do your best to end with a question so that they have a reason to talk back to you. It's very important that you just try to continue the conversation. So you can never ask somebody too many questions. Never. Because the more you know about them, the more genuine your recommendation will be. And be human. Be you. Like, don't try to be somebody else. Be unapologetically you. So when I say use the scripts, don't reinvent the wheel, run the play that's already been called, I mean that, but don't let that mask who you are. You still have to be human and just be in conversation with people as you normally would, using your voice. Social media does matter, so your posting does matter. The things that you share, and they don't all need to be about fitness, and this is not going to be a social media thing, but those posts matter. So your consistency there is also important. It can't be the one and only thing that you do, though. And then follow up with people like clockwork. Don't just leave it. Don't send a step 1 and then you never hear back from them. So, oh well, you're missing out if you don't follow up. So you got to follow up with people, and you don't shy away from objections. If they have an objection, great, let's talk about it. You don't have anything to lose by talking to them about whatever it is that they are hesitant about. So don't be scared of somebody who thinks it's too expensive, or somebody, because I thought I did not need Shakeology. I was like, I don't think I need that big old bag of shakes. So, I mean, just don't shy away from that. It is just a conversation that you're having with somebody, educating them and trying to create some value, but you're not trying to talk them into it either. You're processing with them. Does that make sense? Like the difference between, I'm not dragging this person along here, we're just talking. And she's sharing with me why she's hesitant, and I'm sharing with her why it's worked for me and the benefits that I've seen from it. We're just having a conversation. And that's it. That's all I've got. But as far as Success Club is concerned, I hope that after tonight you kind of understand why it's important, and that the secret to Success Club is simply your mindset and running the plays that have already been called, and a lot of hard work, and that's it. So I'm going to stop my share